That's right, Martin versus Yamaha. These two juggernauts of the instrument world are going head to head with acoustic guitars, believe it or not. You might be surprised which one you prefer. Stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas, and you can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. If you want to support the channel, visit our spring store link below for custom swag and check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts. So this might seem like an odd comparison, a Yamaha against a Martin, you say? Absolutely. What we are comparing today is an HD-28, arguably one of the most famous flat-top acoustic guitars to ever exist, against this upstart from the Japanese maker. This is the FG9R. Now, we reviewed this guitar earlier in the year. We have been incredibly impressed by their high-end guitars that Yamaha is producing in their Japanese factory, but that guitar, I think we even said in the video, was already pre-sold, and we actually had to get permission from that new owner in order to do the video on that stellar guitar. Now that we have them in stock again, it was high time that we did a comparison. Because here's what I already know. Some of you have written off this guitar simply because it says Yamaha on the headstock. And that's okay, I understand. Some people who even work here go, it's a Yamaha, I wouldn't pay that for it. Pay what? About $4,000. You're like, what? I know, but hey, hear me out. There's a reason I'm doing this comparison. Let's talk specs briefly. I don't want to get mired in the subject, but let's talk about what you're getting with the Martin first of all. You're getting the Martin name, and you're getting a model name that has significance. The HD-28 is famous, okay? And as far as I'm concerned, it's the HD-28 that's the real D-28 from yesteryear. This is the guitar that started it all and continues to kind of be the all-in-all for most people looking for a Martin Dreadnought. I'm a huge fan. We've done custom iterations of this because we like the core guitar so much. It is your classic Dreadnought from Martin, the company that, after all, invented the shape. By the way, they also invented acoustic electronics in a guitar, or having electronics in an acoustic guitar. I got it there eventually. They also invented X-bracing, and then the scaled version of X-bracing. They've invented a lot, not to mention just the concept of a steel string guitar and this shape in the Martin Dreadnought. So, phenomenal maker, phenomenal guitar. Rosewood back and sides, Sitka spruce top vintage toner. You've got herringbone on the binding. You've got a wonderful neck, modified low oval profile with a 1 3/4 inch nut width, ebony fingerboard, bridge, open back tuners, case, wonderful sound. It's a Martin. It's what you want. What are you getting from the Dreadnought or from the Yamaha? Well, you're kind of getting a Japanese guitar built in honor of that guitar, if you will. Back in the 60s, a bunch of Japanese manufacturers started to import guitars. And some of them did them under other names in order to appeal to American buyers. Maybe Spanish-sounding names, like, I don't know, Ibanez or Alvarez, what have you. Yamaha decided to import guitars under their name, Yamaha. They've been building instruments for literally decades, hundreds of years, and they build some of the finest stuff. Now, some people, there's jokes. I shared a meme online the other day about a motorcycle gang, you know, with Yamaha motorcycles and a guy with a Yamaha motorcycle jacket on. He goes, oh, well, mine's a piano. It's a funny joke. It's true. They build ATVs and motorcycles and all sorts of stuff. One of the best engines to ever go in a Ford, the SHO, if you know, you know. And a lot of the expertise comes from the acoustic tuning that they have from building instruments. This guitar is not just some Japanese import. This is a bench-made, handcrafted, one at a time, unique acoustic guitar from Yamaha. It's their flagship. It's the highest end acoustic guitar that they currently make for when we're talking about flat top steel string acoustic guitars. And it is phenomenal. Now, it's going to differ in some very key ways from the Martin. For one, the top on this is Adirondack spruce. So right there, there's going to be a tonal difference. It has higher headroom, higher volume ceiling, if you will. And the bracing is going to be different. The sonic engine that powers that guitar, it's unique for every single builder, so that's definitely going to be different. The aesthetics of this guitar are decidedly perfect craftsmanship that you would expect from the finest Japanese construction. It's just absolutely beautiful. The fret markers are hand inlaid wood. They're flawless. The rope style binding that goes around the border of the top is just, it evokes Japanese building. I love it. The black chrome Goto open gear tuners, chef's kiss. Absolutely love it. If there's only one complaint that I have about this guitar, it's that they have this really cool inlay here on the heel of the guitar for the FG series, but they did the normal Yamaha logo up on the headstock. I just wish they had done the tuning forks or something. Just something a little different. But I'm okay with it because of how good the guitar sounds. Now, some other things about the construction that are different on this. The top is Adirondack spruce, like I said. It's hand scallop bracing. It's also tapered. They're doing this specific tapering along the edges of the top, which is acting kind of the way a relief route on a violin would act, where it's basically going to allow the top to move more freely from a certain point based upon how it's tapered. Really cool construction. The other interesting thing about this is this has a bolt-on neck. A lot of people don't realize that. It's a combination of bolt and glue, but it is bolted on to the body with 2 bolts to ensure accurate fit, adjustability, but adhesion and adherence wood to wood, so you get great transference on this guitar. So, enough specifications at this point. What do they sound like? How do they play? We'll talk about that on the other side. Check out the demo first. Okay, and we're back. So, a few notes about the demo that I want to be very transparent with. I like the sound of both of these guitars. I want to kick either of them out of bed. I take them both home with me. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? I'd like to own both of these guitars. They are different. They're not going to sound similar. They have different construction. The tone woods for the top differ. That makes a dramatic difference, and I like how both of them sound. Let's talk about playability. Out of the box, the Martin has higher action, and it's kind of normal compared to a lot of builders. We see that Martin from the factory sets theirs up just a little bit higher. So if you are shopping guitars and you are picking up various builds from different makes and you notice that, unless it's extremely high, it's probably by design. Now, of course, that can always be adjusted within, certain points, but just know that out of the box, this action is lower than this action. Some other things, pretty sure this has lighter strings on it than the Martin, which comes with mediums. I think this is lights. I may be mistaken on that, but it feels like lights. But when I was playing, and you might have noticed it, the Martin gives me a little bit of a hard time, and I really think that that's because of my use of coated strings and the fact that I am used to them. So the Yamaha comes, I believe, with Elixir strings. Maybe they're D'Addario coated ones, but they are definitely coated strings. So there's less string squeak, and they just don't grab at my fingers, and so as I'm moving around, I'm more comfortable. The Martin strings sound really good, but they are a more coarse string, which is why I think they have a certain zing to them. That's been my working theory for a number of years now. But what that means for me is that when I'm playing and kind of moving around, it's kind of grabbing. There's more friction. And so I'm not as comfortable or fluid on the guitar. So there you have it. Your mileage may vary there. That aside, when you're just listening to these guitars, they're both very open and they respond very, very differently. One of the things we noticed about the HD-28 is how present that low E string is. You can just kind of wail on it and it pops out, whether you're in a chord or you are trying to do single note stuff. I'm not a bluegrass player, but I try to play one on TV, so to speak, and this one is fantastic for that. So the Martin's not going anywhere. It's earned its reputation. The real point of this video is for those of you who would have written this guitar off straight off the bat to reconsider things, okay? This is a phenomenal guitar, and it's $600 more than the Martin with arguably better specifications with the upgrade of the top and whatnot. The difference really lies in the name on the headstock and where they are built. And I've said this when I did the first review of the FG5s, the red label guitars, and how good they were. If it said something else on the headstock, it would cost more. A rosewood Adirondack guitar that's built this well, if it was built in the US and it said anything else on the headstock, this would cost more than the already expensive $4,000 that it does cost. And that's something for us to just consider and maybe contend with as why is that the reason? I don't know that the cost of labor in Japan is really that much less than it is in the United States. Nevertheless, Yamaha is importing a phenomenal guitar to our shores. Are you going to give it a chance? That's my question and my challenge to you. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you just like, Chris, you're out of your mind. I would never spend that on a Yamaha. You haven't changed my mind one iota. It's a Martin all the way. That's cool. That's perfectly fine. Or if you're like, hey, you've given me something to consider. That's great. That means that you are teachable and flexible and learning new things. Congratulations. And maybe you're like, hey, I already bought one. You're on the cutting edge. You're the guy that bought Apple when nobody cared about what Apple was. You're the person that stuck with them when they made the Newton. That's questionable. But you know what? You're open to trying things and maybe being on the forefront. Congratulations, the first guy through the wall, usually the bloodiest. Anyways, let me know your comments below for real. If you're interested in either of these guitars, guess what? We sell both of them. We carry both of them because we like both of them. And they are both on our website, which is alamomusic.com. You can check out specifications, you can check out our photography, and you can chat with someone live, in addition to, of course, just giving us a call or coming into our store, and we can help you make your guitar dreams come true. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, turn on notifications, like our videos, hit the subscribe button, send it to somebody else and tell them, these guys are really good, you should subscribe. We thank you for it. Peace.